While I have been here in New York this week, I have noticed this really interesting phenomenon. Now, I grew up in Georgia. I was born and raised in Georgia, still live in Georgia, but I've been to New York quite a few times. This is not my first trip here, and I think there's always something that ends up, excuse me, happening that surprises me every time that I come here. But on this trip in particular, I think an observation that I have made multiple times over all of the trips that have been here finally just kind of congealed for me in my brain in one space. And so I'm in a hotel. There are 29 floors on this hotel. I'm on floor 14. And so it's just, lots of floors, lots of windows. And I'm completely surrounded by buildings, as is most of New York. And they're buildings just as tall, if not taller, than the hotel that I'm in, right? And I really enjoy sunshine and nature and space. And of course, at home, I'm surrounded by all of those things. And so I'm taking breaks from work and I'm going over to stand at the window. And I was standing at the window yesterday, and I mean, when I tell you I'm surrounded by buildings, if you haven't been to New York before, I mean, I'm like surrounded by buildings, and some of them I feel like are only 2 inches from this building, right? And some of them are so close that I can see directly into people's apartments. So I'm not trying to like intentionally snoop, but I'm just trying to get some sunshine, and there they are. In fact, if you want to hop over, if you're watching this live and not on a recording, to my Instagram, you can see I did take a picture of the cutest dog that was sitting by the window yesterday, and that's on my Insta stories. But I am that close to people, right? And when I look down at the street, all I'm seeing are people everywhere. They're walking, they are focused, they are on a mission, they've got coffee in hand. Some of them have a dog, on a leash, and just everybody is walking with purpose. But I am walking a mile every morning to get my son to a camp and back to the hotel, half a mile each way. And I am finding that I'm going into those strides as well. Like, okay, I'm focused. I've got somewhere to be. I'm noticing that my environment is matching, I'm matching myself to my environment, right? Um, and there's so many people, but no one's acknowledging one another. No one's smiling. No one's saying hello. And I know that's not a New York thing to do, and I totally understand that. I am like, that's not lost on me. I know. But we are also surrounded by people. So I decided to run a little experiment because I don't mind breaking social norms sometimes. And so I was walking, and there was a lady coming to me. She had a beautiful dress on and was walking with purpose, just like everybody else. And I decided to crack a smile at her and see what happened. And her whole face lit up. And she smiled back at me, which I know also is not what every New Yorker would do, but this woman in particular did. And I think she's a local because she was wearing a beautiful business dress and tennis shoes. So I'm pretty sure she was headed to the office. And we broke the environment for just a moment, just a second of connection. And I think that's what life looks like sometimes. I think that we can be surrounded by people and still be in complete isolation. I think we can be matching ourselves to our environments and putting our heads down and just getting things done and forget about the fact that we're surrounded by humans and that we are also a human. I feel like being in New York, I feel like people are just ants. We're just like in a little ant hill, and we're running here and we're running here, we're running here. Everybody goes to their little box, in the ant hill and gets on their computer and does their thing. And I can look out at this building right over here and see all these little boxes of people, getting water from the water cooler or sitting at their desk or whatever. We're all together in the same building, but we're all in our own little section. And that happens in leadership when we are surrounded by humans, we're surrounded by people. In fact, as leaders, we're leading people, right? So we have to have these interactions. But we're in back-to-back meetings with the people. We're in back-to-back emails with the people, right? It's not true connection. And because of that, underneath, we have this experience of doing it alone. We have this experience of being isolated, and feeling like we're just going at it by ourselves, right? Um, it it causes us to get reserved. So this morning when I offered that smile to the stranger, I really kind of had to step out. I had to be like, all right, I'm breaking the culture here. I'm breaking the societal norm here. I am risking vulnerability. I'm risking being seen as weird. I'm risking at a scowl back, right? Like maybe she wasn't going to respond with a smile. There's so much that I risk in attempting that connection. And in leadership, there's so much at stake when we attempt to break out of that isolation. Um, we can't fully unload all of our thoughts at work, and then we get home and we're either too tired to do it or the people there don't understand. They just don't get it, um, because they're not living our lives. And so we just keep moving forward. We just keep going. We just keep trucking along because what else are we going to do but go ahead and answer that email and feel productive and keep moving forward in our day, right? Coffee in hand, eyes forward, let's go. And we're just in our own little boxes. And some of us have gotten so comfortable there that we've started decorating them, right? But we're still in isolation. We're still in a little box. And so what I can tell you is that, yes, I'm seeing people in their little boxes. I'm seeing people heads down walking to the office or wherever it is that they're headed in the morning. But I can also tell you that we're all right there together. We're on the streets passing each other. We're in the hotel rooms next to one another. We're in the offices side by side. We're already there. We just have to bridge that last little gap. Sometimes that distance between us is literally just glass or air or coffee cup. And isolation isn't happening because it's impossible for us to connect. It's still possible. Um, it's we just aren't allowing ourselves to step outside that box, right? Because it's kind of comfortable and we're afraid of being vulnerable. And I think, in my own personal opinion, that the cost of that, especially for leaders, is enormous. I think it's overwhelming. It costs us personally, it costs us in how we make decisions, it costs us in how we show up for our teams, it costs us in our creativity, it costs us in how patient we are. The cost of that even goes into how clearly we are thinking in our own minds. If we're not willing to bridge that gap, the cost is huge. And so for if we're going to show up sustainably, if we're going to be able to sustain high quality performance over a long period of time and develop the ability to adapt and be resilient and keep trucking along without falling apart, right? We're going to have to be able to bridge that gap in isolation. We're going to have to be able to step out and get outside of this little box that we've created for ourselves, either physically or emotionally or whatever, however you've decided to wall yourself in and break down those walls, right? And this is one of the reasons that I built the nest. It exists because I was that person in that box. I'm gonna be real with you. I was that person. Clocking in, clocking out, just get it done, show up. If I survived the day, I felt like I was winning. If I got most of my to-do list done and I didn't have to beat myself up too badly at the end of the day, I felt like it was successful and I was productive. And I measured my value by productivity. And that's not it. I'm just going to be real with you. That can't be it. That can't be all there is productivity. There is so much more for us on the other side of getting out of that little box that we made. right? Personally and professionally. There is a better way of doing this, especially the higher we go in our roles. So, round two of the nest is currently open. I'm taking applications. Some of the spots have already been taken, and I have a hard stop at 12 spots. That's it. There's zero exceptions to it going higher than that because I'm carefully and intentionally curating this group. It is specifically created for corporate leaders and business owners because we are the women who are at the top, high performing and exhausted behind the scenes, and we don't want anyone to know. Sorry. But we have to stop doing it in isolation. If we are going to continue to grow, that isolation has to stop. So, this is the opposite, right? The nest is the opposite of standing at this window and looking into each other's apartments and seeing the cute dog. Like, this is actually stepping into the same room and saying, I'm here with you. Let's do the freaking thing, right? So, if you need that in your life right now, if that sounds like the support that would make a difference in your life and you're ready for it, you're ready to have the conversations, you're ready to step in the room and you're ready to be committed, and it's not too much. This is not like an add to your plate kind of thing. This is a, hey, I'm going to help you hold your plate so you're not overwhelmed thing, but you've got to show up to it. And if you are ready or you think you're ready, I would love to talk to you. And we can go over whether or not this is a good fit and a good time for you to be in this space. It might not be, and I'm going to be real with you if I don't think it is, because I can't bring the wrong people into this space. That is how carefully we're curating this. Even if we don't have 12 people, I literally don't care. We're going to have the right bodies in this space. And I know there are thousands of women out there right now that need this. So if you're hearing this message and this is your time, please reach out to me and let me know so we can have that conversation. You can go to amycapello.com/nest. You can comment on this message. You can send me a DM. You can email me at info@amycapello.com. Whatever makes you happy, let me know. I am going to try to make more eye contact with people on the street in New York today. Guys, wish me luck. We'll see how that goes. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.